Well, in today's video, I have an interesting topic, and we're going to be doing some experimenting, and of course it centers around trail cameras. If you go on Amazon, there's a whole host of makes and models, different trail cameras. One thing I noticed, a lot of trail cameras on Amazon feature 3 PIR sensor. Now, a PIR sensor is your passive infrared sensor. That's what detects heat and motion and triggers your camera to take a photo or video. Now, if you go into your local box store or sporting goods store and pick up a name brand trail camera, you rarely, if ever, see more than 1 PIR sensor. Will the cameras on Amazon give you superior performance because they have 3 PIR sensors versus 1 of the name brand cameras? Well, that's today's subject. We're not only going to talk about it, we're going to test it and see, are 3 PIR sensors better than 1? Now, this Campark camera has 3 PIR sensors, and although I'm using this camera, 3 PIR sensors is not exclusive to Campark. Like I mentioned, virtually all manufacturers on Amazon offer 3 PIR sensors, or at least in some of their models. I happen to use this one because I like the integrated solar panel. It gives me good quality photos and videos. And because of the solar panel, I don't have to use any AA batteries, which the price of today's batteries, it's a huge plus to be able to use solar. I get a lot of questions about trail cameras and their setup, and from time to time I get the PIR question. Should I have those side sensors turned on or off? Most all manufacturers that offer side PIR sensors also give the option in the menu to turn them on or off. Now, in my mind, turning the side PIR sensors on is going to increase your trigger speed. If you have an animal coming from the side PIR sensor is going to detect that and activate the camera, and it should give you a quicker trigger speed, or at least in my mind, that's how I think about it. I'm not going to be standing here and just talking about these sensors. I'm going to go out and actually test them and to see if that works. So I went outside and set up some cones to give me a point of reference on how quickly the camera triggers and where I'm at in reference to those cones when I have the side sensors on or off. With the cones set up, I simply walked in front of the camera and triggered it with the side PIR sensors turned off. To further test the PIR sensor, I sped things up a bit by getting on my golf cart and driving in front of my camera. Again, remember the PIR sensor is turned off. I then simply repeated each of these tests with the side PIR sensors turned on. I walked in front of the camera and I drove past the camera with the golf cart with the side sensors turned on. Now, the results surprised me. When I put them side by side, there was virtually zero difference between having the sensors turned on and turned off. Now, you might ask, how about on video mode? Well, I'm glad you asked. I tried that also. I put the camera on video mode with the side sensors turned off, walked in front of the camera, drove in front of the camera, then turned the sensors on and repeated the test. And the results on video mode were the same as photo mode. I could not tell any difference in the trigger speed when the camera would detect and start taking a video, whether the sensors were turned on or they were turned off. Well, with the surprising results, I couldn't leave well enough alone. Maybe it's just the Campark make and models that the side sensors don't seem to make any difference. I have plenty of other cameras that have side sensors, so I tested a few other cameras as well. I tested 2 other cameras besides Campark. I tested the Ceyomur and the Gardepro, and both of those cameras made very little difference when the side sensors were turned on or off. Well, the test don't lie. I, again, was surprised by the results. I truly did believe that the side sensors would make some sort of difference. I didn't know how dramatic it would be, but in my testing from 3 different brands, there was very little difference. Now, keep in mind, that doesn't mean these cameras are junk and they're not worth buying. In fact, I use these cameras and they work just fine. It just doesn't seem that the side PIR sensor benefits this camera in any way, or at least not in my testing. So I'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts and opinions, and why they even offer side PIR sensors if it doesn't really seem to make any difference? Please put your comments down in the comment section. I love hearing from you, and I try and get back to each and every one of you. Well, you can be sure that I'll continue my testing, but until then, I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.